Hi, this is Billie Beene here with a flash update for U.S. news. Today's date, May 14, 2024, time about 11 a.m. in Texas. This is U.S. episode 171. And some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot Subscriber, Joshua Phillip with CROSSROADS, Suspicious Observer, Space Weather, Texas Weather Center, Breitbart, Hal Turner, Steve Quayle, Cliff High, JWTV, Israeli News Live, Real Raw News. Some of the things we'll cover: radiation storm, tornadoes, ghost, try to take down President Trump, and President Trump aiming for a big win in November. So let's get started. I have a Patriot subscriber who says, she's referring to my video I put out yesterday talking about global shipping. Now I see why the deep state blew up the Baltimore Bridge. It was to take shipping down to the U.S. And we don't manufacture much anymore. So yeah, that's a solid hit for the U.S. economy. So now we'll talk about a radiation storm coming in, and it's currently coming in. So we have the sun, we have the earth. It's coming in from sunspot 3664, rotating from the west to the east of the sun, but still connected to the earth through what's called the Parker spiral down to the earth's electromagnetic lines. And currently we're having a solar storm that primarily consists of protons and radiation that do penetrate the earth. And they're coming from the latest X flare via a coronal mass ejection. They are impacting the electromagnetic shield of the Earth and the top of the ionosphere. This often in the polar areas, Antarctica and Arctic, has the major impact. Now, what I found interesting was something new for me, that solar storms composed primarily of radiation that's distinguished from a geomagnetic storm embed themselves and can be identified over time through tree rings. So we have that going on. Now, supposedly, there's low impact on human health. Suspicious observers from sunspot 3664, the last X flare, is going to bring in another coronal mass ejection on May 14, today, or late today or early tomorrow. And it's supposed to be like a G2 at the most, which would give us a KP of maybe 5. So what we are seeing from the last impact from the sun now, we are seeing impact on radio frequency, ham operator, shortwave. These impacts from the sun do increase the amount of radiation that astronauts and spacecraft receive who are outside the shield around the Earth, but it also increases the radiation that people in planes may receive, particularly in the polar areas, Antarctica and the Arctic. Now, this afternoon, Suspicious Observer Ben Davidson's going to put out more information on his thinking on the coming pole shift. Ben believes it may be an extinction level event. I don't share that, but I will listen to his interpretation of what we can expect to see. Do I believe a pole shift will occur sometime between now, 2024, 2030, or maybe the early 2030s? So we'll say in the next 10 years. I do. I believe that. Okay, we have from space weather today, geomagnetic 1, 2, possibly a 3 with a KP index of 3, indicating where we will see auroras. We're currently experiencing a solar proton storm, increased radiation. Now, where we're experiencing all of these impacts on the Earth currently is in the polar areas, also Canada, Alaska, into the Pacific Ocean, in Europe, Russia, China, down to Australia, and near New Zealand. So we see that going on. What happens with the sun impacting the Earth does increase the intensity of our weather, like thunderstorms and hail and tornadoes. It is also can increase the number and frequency of hurricanes. And we've had 2 universities, Colorado and Pennsylvania, give out predictions for the number of named storms we will have in this upcoming hurricane season. 50 to 75% more storms than we've seen in the past. So now is a good time to prep and pray. Okay, our current weather is going to impact Texas and the southeast part of the U.S. Today and tomorrow we have the possibility of thunderstorms, low probability of tornadoes and hail. So that'll be good. I know in South Texas yesterday we received actually some much needed rain, and it wasn't too intense and it didn't last too long. So we can say praise the Lord. So that's going on with our weather. Now we'll move on to some other topics. As soon as I get this erased. Wow. Okay. From Hal Turner. This is an economic factor. We're seeing come out that Red Lobsters, we know that's a large fast food chain. They have actually 7 locations and they're going to close 48, and they're going to a quick auction by TAGEX. That's the restaurant auction company. Statement by CEO Neil Shorman that the auction of the 48 Red Lobsters will be quick, go to the highest bidder for furniture, fixture, and equipment. It's a liquidation auction for 48 Red Lobster locations. Some are located in Jacksonville, Florida, Watertown, New York, Bloomingdale, and Danville, Illinois. So that's going on. So we see another factor, and when these restaurants close, I believe it's another indicator of the geographic area where they are closing in terms of their economic strength. Now we have this. This is coming out from the Vatican. Sources on this: CLIF High, JWTV, Israeli News Live, and my own research. Now they're coming out they're talking about apparitions. We would commonly call these ghosts. And in the Vatican, it came out with a pre-announcement, okay, in a month or so, we're going to talk about apparitions. What they're actually talking about are ETs. Many call these the fallen angels. We will see them, I believe, in the near future. The reason they're using this word apparitions is because many of these fallen angels cannot shapeshift to hold a firm, to look like humans or anything else. They can't hold a firm appearance, and that's based on I know the Schumann has gone up from, it used to be 7.83 hertz per second, and I believe it's holding steady now at about 50. This impacts the fallen angels, and the reason this is happening is we have increased energy coming into the earth. We are entering a new, more energetic phase of human life, and it's dramatically increasing the communication lines we have between ourselves and God. I mean, they were always strong. Now they're much more energetic and solid, and that was always true for some people, but now this connection to God is spreading. This increase in energy is also increasing the spiritual orientation for humans. And so the fallen angels who have been in a state, a different vibration and frequency from humans, and so that they appear as ghosts sometimes when we see them. And now with the increased positive energy on the earth, the negative energy of the fallen angels is going to hamper them taking on a solid appearance. But make no mistake, if you are aligned with God, you should be able to determine evil from good. Is the Vatican aligned with evil? It has been a pattern with the deep state. Even if a positive individual was put in the position of Pope, the deep state would kill the Pope and replace him with a double, and who would be under the control of the deep state. This appears to be historically true. Now, I'll say to my dear Catholic friends, at the top of the Vatican is a 100% purely political, not spiritual, deep state controlled group, as we see with many governments and also many religious organizations. Well, I know the deep state is currently in control of the U.S. government in many of our branches, executive, legislative, and possibly, I believe, they've infiltrated the Supreme Court. So this has been a norm for the world. Now that humans are increasing in their spiritual strength and communicating more with God and having their eyes opened. So this is going on. Do I believe we are soon going to see apparitions or ghosts of fallen angels? I believe it's likely. So be forewarned and definitely be prayed up. And so this is being put forth by the Vatican, but also certain parts of the Judaism, the Ashkenazi Jews who use the man-made Talmud and Kabbalah as their religious documents. And Israeli News Live's Stephen Ben-Nun had brought this out before, showing a video of a certain group and the Judaism saying that the reptilians are good. We wait for our masters to come back. They'll look like reptiles, but they're good. I saw the video. So we see certain parts of the Catholic religion, certain parts of the Judaism religion, and it's possible that there are some parts in the Islamic religion that also embrace fallen angels. Absolutely possible. I do believe this is coming, so have your eyes open and your ears open to truth. Okay, Hal Turner brings this out. The Dem Party, we know that they are going down in terms of voters and support. And now with their convention was supposed to take place in Chicago, August 19 to 22, and they're seriously thinking about canceling the physical convention and holding it online. Why? Because not enough people are going to attend. It will demonstrate clearly the Dem Party is going bye-bye. Now we have this from Burning Platform. The Dems push for the illegals to vote. So we see that going on. And it's called, and the way they're going to do it is via a bill, the Equal Representation Act. And this is to count the illegals in the census and also prime them to vote. If they're counted as citizens, it would likely follow that they can register to vote. So that's going on. And Burning Platform brings this out. It violates the 14th Amendment. Only American citizens can vote. And now many American citizens are fleeing Democrat-controlled states and cities. So that's going on. And now we have this from Real Raw News. Recently, President Trump had a rally that was in New Jersey. There were 80,000 people there. And the Delta Force, and that's a special forces in the US military army, took down an infiltrator to the Secret Service who was intent on an assassination try to take down President Trump. He had some kind of type of gun device that would hit the chest, and with such force it emulates a heart attack. President Trump, according to Real Raw News, has had his security tripled by the U.S. military in the past few months, and the U.S. military distrusts the Secret Service since they have a new director, Kimberly Cheadle, appointed by JB in 2022. So we can say, praise the Lord, the Delta Force stopped this incognito Secret Service agent. They isolated him through his communications. They had cracked their communication frequency, and so they could hear. In a crowd of 80,000, the Delta Force was able to isolate this person, put a syringe in him, and take him off the field. He's currently arrested and under interrogation. And we have this going on. According to Joshua Phillips with CROSSROADS, President Trump is due to win in a landslide in November of 2020. So this concludes my flash. I love you, and I'll see you soon.